this is something new I'm trying, and I just wanted to see if it worked. So we are looking at, we're throwing it way back to Unit 1 here, and we are looking at Unit 1 because this is usually your summer work, and I am going to take a moment here to just run through some of the stuff we went over way back in September in about a day and a half. So our Unit 1 starts with Native Peoples of the Americas, and actually our PowerPoint even starts before that. So if you look at our timeline here, I know it kind of cuts off on that side there, but we've got our humans crossing the land bridge between Asia and North America from 13,000 to 700 BCE. Then we've got corn domesticated in the Mesoamericas from 5000 BCE. The Mayan civilization flourishes in the Yucatan Peninsula. Muhammad receives his vision for Islam. Leif Erikson arrives in present-day Canada. You can see we've crossed into the Common Era now, right? We went from BCE to current era. The Cuyahoga near its peak near modern St. Louis. Aztec civilization flourishes. The Black Death decimates Europe. Columbus arrives in the Bahamas, and the Incan Empire thrives in the South Americas. So let's look at some of that really quickly. So we look at our first Americans. The first people who came to the Americas came from that land bridge between Siberia and Alaska during the last ice age. And I don't really have a great map of that here, but we're looking at like that edge of Russia and the Alaskan Peninsula. And there used to be a land bridge there. So they came between 13,000 to 3000 BCE. Then we've got that second wave. The best we know, they came through water. Think Polynesian Moana type situations where they are navigating through the water. They're not taking land bridges anymore. They're taking boats and canoes and other types of watercraft. This, the best we could tell, brings us tribes like the Navajo and the Apache to the Americas, and that was about 8,000 years ago. And then a third wave brings the Eskimo and Inuit ancestors who are typically up in the Alaskan Yukon area. Now, everybody kind of comes in that area, and they're continually moving southward. And so eventually they're populating both North and South America, which creates all these unique cultures. And we're going to get very highly complex urban civilizations to woodland nomadic tribes in North America. And we are also looking at recent research that suggests that along the west coast of South America, migrant populations also traveled by water around that coastline. So that's pretty neat. If you look at our map here, we've got our center of civilization in the early years, right? There are people here, we just talked about that, but these tribes are more the major civilizations at the time for whatever reason. So we've got Olmec, which is this little orange dot that you can't really see, but it's there. The Aztec, the Mayans, and the Incas. And this would be the coastline that people were traveling by boat on. And if we look in South America, our best guess is that civilizations developed along the coastline because this is all interior rainforest and it's very hard to inhabit the rainforest. It might be easier to build up along the coastline. So let's talk about Mesoamerica, right? That geographic stretch from North America up to north of Panama up to the central desert of Mexico. We know the Mesoamericans were polytheistic, which means their gods were multiple. They had more than one god. A lot of them, their gods possessed both male and female traits, and some societies demanded blood sacrifices of enemies taken in battle or ritual bloodletting. Corn or maize was domesticated by 5000 BCE, and we know that this is the basis of their diet. We know they had a mathematical system, they built cities and buildings, they created calendars that accurately predicted eclipses and solstices, and a lot of times the priest astronomers used the calendar to direct the planting and harvesting seasons. They're also the only known written language in the Western Hemisphere, and the trade over long distance is going to infuse the different cultures. So in that area, weapons were made of obsidian, which is that really dark black stone. Jewelry is made from jade. Clothing and ornaments usually involved weaving of feathers and tree leaves, stuff like that. And they use the cacao bean to make a chocolate drink that is much more chocolatey than hot chocolate or chocolate milk. And all of this form the basis of commerce for Mesoamerica. So if we look specifically